Imagine walking the beaches of Lake Superior and something catches your eye just right in the sun. Something so special that it's even older than dinosaurs themselves. You look down and you see the most magnificent rock. Yes, I know what you're thinking, a rock. But it's not just any rock, it's a Lake Superior agate. Whether you like rocks or not, the Lake Superior agate is an artifact to not only be cherished but also respected. During the Mid-Continental Rift, they were created among lava flows, where lava was trapped inside of gas bubbles. These agates that sit among my most cherished possessions represent not only a hobby that I love, but they are also a connection to my family for myself. First, I'm going to give you a brief lesson on the history of an agate. Second, I'm going to explain to you how to spot an agate in the wild. And third, I will explain my connection to agates and why they're so special to me. As I explained in my introduction, agates were formed among ancient lava flow that was created when gas bubbles in lava were filled with quartz and other minerals layer by layer. Lake Superior agates can be found along not only the shores of Lake Superior in Michigan, but also along Lake Superior in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Because they've traveled by glaciers, you can also find them along the Midwest, pretty much just about anywhere, but mostly found in rivers, farm fields, and gravel pits. There are also different types of agates other than the Lake Superior agate that are found in other states and even continents such as Oregon, Montana, Arizona, the Dakotas, India, China, Madagascar, Morocco, and the most common place that mines agates is actually Brazil. Now that I've gave you a lesson on the history of agates, I will explain how to spot one in the wild. To identify whether you have found a Lake Superior agate, you should look for key characteristics. The most common identifier is the banding, similar to rings of a tree. And so I did actually include an agate, but I'm not sure how well it's going to pick up in the light here. I'm hoping that you would be able to see like the banding. Oh, yep, there it is. You can see like little banding happening, kind of similar to a tree. And then this is actually my favorite agate that I've ever found. Hopefully the light picks it up just right. Oh, yeah. You can see the banding happening in there too. And then I have like jars of agates, but to do this, I was just trying to find some that might be easier to spot the banding. But yeah, they look like little tree rings. Some of them do, not all of them. But anyways, so the banding is going to come in different shades, mostly red, whites, and oranges. They're going to be wrapped around the rock. They're also going to have a waxy coating and have the texture of a potato skin. So for the ones that I just showed you, those are actually been in mineral oil, which just makes the banding and stuff once they're in a jar like just pop out more. If you know anything about rocks, if you want to see the true colors, they should be wet. Otherwise, when they dry, like the colors change. But typically they do have that waxy texture. It might have been hard to tell though by the picture just because it had the mineral spirits on it, which just kind of gives it more of a greasy look. But anyways, since agates are made of quartz, you can hold them up to the sun. If light passes through entirely, it'll give an appearance that the rock is actually glowing from within. In that case, you've probably found an agate. The best time to look is after a nice storm when the waves have pushed the new agates and stirred up the rocks on the beach. That's typically when I have found my best ones. Now that I've explained how to find your very own agate, I will disclose why agates are so special to me. So, my grandma was a huge influence to me for my love of agates. When you got to my grandma's house when I was a kid, she had this little cottage on the Cedar River. It was tucked away with little cedar trees. It was just a very whimsical place, and it was like on this little creek. But when you walked up to her house, she had, her porch was like lined with little railings. And as you were walking up, like the sun would just hit all these little rocks that she had collected. Her and my grandpa had just spent years collecting rocks and they stored them on their porch railings. So when you walked in, like the sun just hit it and they were just so shimmery. And like for a little girl, like they just caught my eye. So ever since, like I always just admired, the rocks that her and my grandpa collected. But then the second thing is after you walked up her porch and then you went into her house, like you would be caught by this low vibrating, like drumming sound coming from her entranceway. And she used to keep multiple tumblers in rotation going where she would polish all these rocks that she would find on Lake Superior. So just, like from being a kid, that was just kind of, it just caught my interest. And like I would catch myself as a little kid just even walking like along ditches or roads and finding cool rocks that like just glimmered in the sun or like were sparkly. Um so yeah, that's why I relate to liking rocks so much. Um yeah. Anyways, first I explained to you the history of agates. Secondly, I told you how you could find your own agate, and then I shared to you why agates are so special to me. These agates that sit among my most prized possessions represent not only a hobby that I love, but are also a connection to my family. I stared at the little white agates in my hand, delicate moondrops. The mystery goes as love as I understand is that God loves.